Denzel Washington and Mel Gibson are shaking Hollywood to its core, exposing connections that are as shocking as they are unsettling. The beloved Oprah Winfrey, known as a champion for justice and compassion, and Diddy, the rap mogul turned scandal magnet, now find themselves at the center of a web woven with dark secrets. Allegations of racketeering, sex trafficking, and hidden alliances with Hollywood's elite have made headlines, leaving fans stunned and suspicious. Could it be that the public faces we've trusted are hiding something far more sinister? Before we continue with the video, why don't you take a second to subscribe to our channel?
Now here you are, you've got your girls in fur bikinis, you're wearing diamonds, and you're doing champagne.
If you'd asked anyone just a couple of years ago about Sean Diddy Combs, you'd probably hear stories of his unstoppable rise, his influence in hip-hop, and his billionaire lifestyle. Diddy has been a powerful figure in the music world for decades, shaping pop culture, launching artists, and even becoming one of the wealthiest self-made men in entertainment. His journey from the rough streets of Harlem to billionaire status inspired many, making him seem untouchable. But now his legacy is being overshadowed by something far darker and more disturbing. Today, he's not only lost his untouchable status, but he's also behind bars, facing some of the most serious charges anyone could imagine.
Footage that was captured inside of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 allegedly shows Combs' then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway.
Diddy's downfall is like a story straight out of a crime thriller, but it's all too real. He's facing accusations that go beyond just a scandal or a bad business decision. Federal charges have come down hard on him, alleging racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. According to reports, he's not only involved but at the very center of a ring involving exploitation and horrific abuse. Just the details that have come out are chilling. Victims have accused Diddy and his associates of using substances like GHB and Rohypnol, the infamous date drugs, to incapacitate people at his parties. The allegations paint a picture of these wild, star-studded events where drugs and manipulation ran rampant, creating a dangerous playground for exploitation.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need.
One of the most disturbing details involves something as common as baby oil, which was allegedly mixed with these drugs to render people helpless. There's also talk of Diddy orchestrating events known as freak-offs, wild parties where boundaries were blurred, and consent seemed to be more of an afterthought than a requirement. And it's not just adults who have come forward with accusations. Tragically, some of the victims were minors, with at least one reportedly as young as 9 years old. Can you even imagine the horror? The legal case against Diddy truly erupted in March 2024, when federal authorities raided his luxury homes in Los Angeles and Miami. What they discovered shocked everyone. A stockpile of evidence, including over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, 3 AR-15 rifles, and devices with disturbing footage of alleged abuse victims. It was as if his mansions hid a nightmare behind their glossy, glamorous surfaces. Then, on September 16th, Diddy was arrested in New York, making national headlines and casting a massive shadow over his empire.
It's now been 1 week since the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy is now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as...
Now, Diddy is confined to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place known for its brutal environment. This isn't the kind of facility for just any white-collar criminal. It's notoriously harsh, housing some of the most dangerous and violent criminals in the world. For a man who once enjoyed a life of luxury, this might feel like a descent into hell. The shift from his opulent lifestyle to a jail cell in one of the country's toughest detention centers couldn't be more jarring. As of now, Diddy's legal team is on the defense, insisting that all accusations are fabrications. They're fighting hard, even calling for the identities of his alleged victims to be revealed, something that has only added to the controversy. Prosecutors, however, are standing their ground, determined to protect the identities and safety of these individuals as the case heads to trial. The gravity of the accusations, combined with the level of detail in the charges, makes it clear that this isn't just some public scandal. It's a full-blown legal and moral reckoning for one of the music industry's most powerful figures.
Oprah Winfrey has been tied to so many awful people.
Yeah.
And the things that she's done throughout the years have only been in service to certain people.
If there's one person in Hollywood you'd never expect to see linked to a scandal like Diddy's, it's Oprah Winfrey. Oprah is practically royalty when it comes to the entertainment industry. She's built her empire on compassion, integrity, and advocating for women's rights. So, the idea of her being connected to someone like Diddy, now mired in allegations of exploitation and abuse, feels almost unbelievable. Yet, their association goes way back, and it's closer than most people might realize.
You're cordially invited to celebrate the birth of Sean Puffy Combs.
Puffy, P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Oprah and Diddy have crossed paths multiple times over the years. You'll see photos of them together at big events like the BET Awards, where they've shared the stage as presenters and honorees. Both of them are heavyweights in entertainment, often showing up at the same high-profile gatherings, from glitzy award shows to charity galas. There's even footage of Diddy joining Oprah on her iconic talk show back in 2006, where they had a heart-to-heart about his rise in the music industry. That interview didn't just offer Diddy a golden moment in the spotlight, it almost felt like Oprah was giving him a stamp of approval. She's Oprah, after all. When she endorses someone, it's as if they're lifted to another level of credibility. And for Diddy, having her in his corner undoubtedly opened doors and bolstered his public image. Their connection, however, isn't just professional. Through the years, they seem to build a friendship, or at least a camaraderie that goes beyond the occasional public appearance. They've been spotted together at some of the most exclusive parties, including Diddy's notorious white parties. Now, if you haven't heard about these, let me tell you, they're legendary for their glamour, celebrity guest list, and the absolutely strict rule that everyone dresses in all white. But beneath the surface, these events have a much darker reputation. Rumors have floated around about the questionable activities that allegedly took place at these parties, from heavy drug use to exploitative behavior that would make anyone uncomfortable. Oprah, being present at events like these, inevitably raises eyebrows, especially considering her reputation as an advocate for women and vulnerable communities. In recent years, with all the allegations against Diddy coming to light, people have started asking, just how close were Oprah and Diddy? It's hard to ignore the fact that she was there during some of his biggest and possibly shadiest moments. Many wonder if her influence played a role in keeping his image relatively clean for as long as it was. There's no denying that Oprah's backing could add a layer of respectability and trust to almost anyone's reputation, including Diddy's. And let's face it, Oprah is known for using her influence to uplift people and causes she believes in. So, was her friendship with Diddy purely professional? Or did she see something in him that made her turn a blind eye to his darker side? Let's take a quick pause so you can subscribe to our channel and let us know your thoughts on this video in the comments below.
And he was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell, he had Oprah Winfrey there with him, who entered the room and was swinging off his arm. And
the rumors don't stop there. Some conspiracy theorists are even speculating about a darker alliance between the two, hinting at Oprah's possible knowledge of or involvement in Hollywood's more hidden corners. Now, that's not to say there's any solid evidence to back up these claims, but her repeated association with powerful, controversial men, Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and others, does give people pause. Why would someone with Oprah's influence and values be so connected to individuals with troubling histories? It makes people wonder if she's as removed from Hollywood's darker dealings as we once thought. It's important to remember, though, that in Hollywood, relationships are often built on convenience, power, and mutual benefit. Oprah and Diddy's friendship might not mean anything more than two influential people supporting each other publicly. But with each new accusation against Diddy and the whispers of these old Hollywood parties, Oprah's involvement feels less and less like a coincidence. It almost forces us to look at her long-standing connections and question what they mean. Mel Gibson has never been one to shy away from controversy. But recently, he's taken on a whole new battle that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Gibson, who's known for speaking his mind, has been openly calling out the entertainment industry for what he believes are deeply rooted issues, especially when it comes to human trafficking. He's pointed fingers at some of the biggest players in Hollywood, claiming that beneath all the glitz and glamour lies a disturbing underworld. And he's not stopping at vague statements. He's gone so far as to suggest that people like Oprah Winfrey might have closer ties to this hidden darkness than most would expect.
Sound of Freedom has a message filled with hope and inspiration. The film sparks conversations and encourages people to help end trafficking in their own community.
A big part of Mel Gibson's stance on this issue comes from his support for the movie Sound of Freedom. The film, which shines a light on the horrors of child trafficking, tells the true story of Tim Ballard, a former government agent who took it upon himself to fight child exploitation and trafficking through his organization, Operation Underground Railroad. Gibson's endorsement of the movie has been loud and clear, and he's used it as a platform to talk about the grim realities that he believes Hollywood wants to keep hidden. He suggested that trafficking isn't just a problem happening in the shadows of far-off places. It's happening right here, involving people with power, influence, and money. Now, the whispers around Oprah Winfrey's alleged connection to these accusations are mostly fueled by conspiracy theorists, but they're getting louder as more people question the ties between Hollywood elites. Some theories have spiraled, claiming Oprah could be linked to the disappearance of 1,000 children, a figure that pops up frequently in these wild discussions. Of course, there's no real evidence behind this number, and the claims are often dismissed as baseless. But the very fact that her name is mentioned alongside these stories is enough to make people wonder. And with someone as vocal as Gibson hinting at the involvement of big names, you can see why these theories are gaining traction. What makes Gibson's statements particularly interesting is his subtle approach. While he doesn't come right out and accuse specific individuals by name, he drops hints that are hard to ignore. By championing Sound of Freedom and openly discussing Hollywood's dark secrets, he's managed to convey his suspicions without directly implicating anyone. Yet, the message is clear to anyone listening closely. He believes the entertainment industry has its hands dirty, and he's not willing to look the other way. And by praising Sound of Freedom, he's signaling that he supports exposing this dark side, no matter the cost. As far as Oprah is concerned, she's mostly remained silent on these conspiracies, which has only fueled the curiosity around her connection to Gibson's accusations. Her close association with other controversial figures, like Harvey Weinstein, has only added to the speculation. For years, Oprah and Weinstein worked together on projects, and they appeared at events as friends. Since the Satsir Me Too movement brought Weinstein's crimes to light, Oprah has publicly distanced herself from him, claiming she did not know about his behavior. But with someone as influential and well-connected as Oprah, many find it hard to believe she was completely in the dark. Gibson's crusade against Hollywood's underbelly isn't just about one film or one scandal. It's part of a broader push to hold powerful people accountable. By bringing up human trafficking and tying it to big names, he's challenging the narrative that Hollywood is simply a dream factory. Instead, he's asking us to see it as an industry capable of harboring some truly dark secrets. For people who followed his career, Gibson's willingness to expose this side of Hollywood may not come as a complete surprise. He's always had a rebellious streak, often clashing with industry standards and norms. But this time, it feels different. He's not just speaking out against Hollywood hypocrisy, he's exposing something far more sinister, with an almost personal conviction that feels impossible to ignore. So where does that leave Oprah? Right now, She hasn't addressed Gibson's allegations or the mounting conspiracy theories linking her to these dark circles. But with Gibson making waves, it's getting harder for her to avoid the whispers. And even though many of the theories seem outrageous, there's a growing curiosity about why her name keeps coming up in these conversations. For a woman who has built her entire career on trust, empathy, and a commitment to bettering society, these rumors present a stark contrast to her public image. When you think of Denzel Washington, you picture someone who's not afraid to stand up for what he believes in, especially when it comes to fairness in Hollywood. So it's no surprise that he hasn't held back when it comes to criticizing Oprah Winfrey, a figure who, despite her image as a champion for Black voices, has faced claims of hypocrisy regarding her treatment of Black actresses. Denzel's been vocal about what he sees as a double standard, pointing out how Oprah's approach to Black talent doesn't always align with her public persona of uplifting and empowering the Black community. One of the most striking examples of this tension comes from actress Taraji P. Henson, who openly shared her frustrations about her experiences working on The Color Purple, a project heavily associated with Oprah. Henson, along with other actresses like Fantasia Barrino, voiced concerns about being underpaid and undervalued. Henson has said she felt her contributions weren't fairly compensated, and that even after proving herself in the industry, her pay didn't reflect her hard work or talent. For an actress of Henson's caliber, who has become a household name and an acclaimed performer, these experiences were more than just professional disappointments. They were painful reminders of the barriers Black actresses still face in Hollywood. Denzel, long an advocate for fair treatment in the industry, saw Oprah's actions as a betrayal of sorts. Here's a woman who has built her empire partly on the idea of empowering others, especially Black women. Yet, when it came down to it, some of the Black talent she worked with felt shortchanged and underappreciated. For Denzel, this hypocrisy was glaring. He has stood up for actresses like Taraji and even Monique, who had her own high-profile issues with Oprah and Hollywood's treatment of Black women. Denzel's support for these actresses isn't just about words. He's continually fought for equal pay and recognition for Black talent, making him a figure that many in the community look up to. What makes this critique even more intense is Oprah's history of seemingly favoring powerful figures like Diddy, even when their actions and reputations are controversial. With the recent scandals surrounding Diddy, people have started questioning why Oprah would be so publicly friendly with him while seemingly undervaluing Black actresses who have worked tirelessly to build their careers. It's as if her loyalty lies more with those who have clout, money, or influence, rather than with the everyday talent who needs her support most. This perceived favoritism hasn't gone unnoticed by the public either. Fans and critics alike have begun to express frustration with Oprah's choices, questioning why she hasn't done more to support up-and-coming Black talent or why her support seems conditional based on someone's status. For a woman who has used her platform to advocate for equality, especially in areas of race and gender, this selective approach seems contradictory. People are starting to ask, is Oprah truly invested in uplifting Black voices, or is she more interested in maintaining her ties with Hollywood's elite? Denzel's stance on this issue is refreshing for many who feel disappointed by Oprah's actions. While Oprah's influence is undeniable, her connection to figures like Diddy, paired with her history of not fully supporting Black actresses, sends a mixed message. Denzel, meanwhile, is firm in his principles, advocating for equal pay and respect for Black actors and actresses. His public critique shines a spotlight on the very real struggles Black talent still faces, despite Oprah's public image as a defender of the underrepresented. It's a tricky situation. Oprah's philanthropy and commitment to causes like education and empowerment have undoubtedly made a positive impact on many lives. She's donated millions to charity, created spaces for tough conversations, and provided platforms for people to share their stories. But in light of these past controversies, Her actions and connections are being reevaluated. It's almost as if people are rethinking whether her public image aligns with the reality of her choices. Her connection with figures like Weinstein and now Diddy leaves some feeling conflicted. Can someone who has surrounded herself with such individuals truly be the role model she's made out to be? So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, make sure to check out this next video.